Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker. And today I'm going to do a rundown of my goals for 2026. So before we dive in, if you're familiar with my goals, I have not yet made my journal. So we're still in printout mode here. Hopefully by the time I do the wrap up for Project UFO, where are we standing with UFOs that I'm carrying over from 2025 to go with the ones I obviously did not finish this year. Hopefully by then I will have my journal for 2026 made. If not, I'll share it in a show and tell. But I have my goals. I have a window of time to film. We're going to take it. I need to take a break from crocheting. My wrist and my elbow are starting to hurt a little. I have a really bad case of tennis elbow. I have for about 4 weeks now. And I just haven't said anything. But yeah, I need to take a little bit of a break. It's the holding my elbow locked while I'm working. It's not the motion, it's the locked elbow, but it's radiating pain from about right here down along this line, and it narrows into about where you would start to feel carpal tunnel, which we do not want to have. So I need to take a break for at least an hour or two. I have one more panel left on the final Project Christmas blanket left to go. So I was like, okay, we're going to film. We'll just slap some quick makeup on and we'll do a ponytail and we'll do it. So we're riding wild. We're riding unprepared, but this is where we're going. So I do have my goals. If you are not at all familiar with my goals for the year crafting, these are not hard and fast rules. Since I've started making annual goals for myself, I've had 2 unexpected moves. This year, Project Christmas Blanket kind of took over everything, so I didn't really get to a lot of stuff like I had planned. But these are just kind of loose ideas of things I want to hit. Things at the end of the year, when I go back to look at everything I worked on, everything I did, these are the things I would like to see change in my crafting life. So these are 100% the crafting goals. I don't set resolutions per se every year. Obviously things like I want to be healthy and healthier than I was the previous year, because obviously I'm not in perfect health. Things like that, generalized things. But these are a little bit more specific, because if you guys could see how much I've trashed this room, you would understand why 2026 I have got to really lock in on my goals, because a lot of this can be fixed if I do what I plan to do. So let's go ahead. We'll start with the goals. This year I'm doing something different where I actually have some very specific projects that I want to do, as well as we'll talk about what I'm going to tally up at the end of the year. So goals for 2026. I have 25 typed out goals, and then I have room to handwrite anything extra. So I've never done this before where I really give myself that kind of extra room here. But I know in previous years, I have remembered something, or in the process of like the first quarter, it's like, oh, I really ought to make this a goal. Like Project Christmas Blanket became a goal by the end of quarter 1. And it was a combination of events that occurred that led to that taking over 2025. So first off, once again, I would like to have 100 pounds in UFOs again, or FOs, not UFOs. Oh, could you imagine 100 pounds of FOs again? This is yarny and non-yarny crafting. This isn't just like one specific, but I really had hoped to hit it this year. I'm sitting somewhere around, I think like 78 pounds right now for the year. I think it's 78. I estimated 78 pounds with the 10th blanket being finished. So I'm not really going to hit that goal, but there are certain things I didn't get to, like I had planned, like the donation projects and stuff that I had planned on making this year that I didn't get to. There were like 4 blankets I didn't put together. There were like 50 hats and scarf sets that I didn't make. So yeah, like I missed huge opportunities that I had planned on having. Now for 2026, I'm really wanting to use my new flatbed knitting machine. I would also like to make some hats using the Addies. So I think combined, we should be able to hit this goal, especially with what I have laid out for donations. I also have some ambitious goals for hand knitting and machine knitting this year. I once again am coming up with 3 pounds of fiber to spin, or spun fiber. I would have hit this goal once again if it weren't for Project Christmas Blanket. I have been looking at my kiwi downstairs with the black yarn that's part of the witchy poo yarn. And it's like, if I could have just finished the witchy poo yarn, that would have given me 3 pounds of yarn. So I came so close to spinning 3 pounds this year if my plans hadn't gotten derailed. So this is why I say these are not hard and fast goals. These must be completed, or else the stars will fall from the sky. These are just ideas. These are goals. These are aspirational. Are these normal for people? No, these are lofty. If I hit 50% of these, it's a good year. I would like to donate 25 hat and scarf sets this year. I wanted to do 50 this in 2025. I'm not going to do a whole nother month of just making donation hat and scarves. So 25 is reasonable. 25, I can do 5 a month. Most months. I want 5 donated blankets by the end of the year. So I have the makings for at least 3, if not 5 blankets. On top of that, one of my goals will also give me tons of blocks to put together for donation blankets. So I think this is incredibly doable. I also have a scrap GAN that I plan on donating that's already partially completed. So this is a realistic goal for this year just because of what I already have on hand. This isn't from scratch. This is just finish these projects, pull these together, be done. I want 5 shawls ready to donate. So the Purr Shawl Ministry I'm a member of right now, we don't need shawls. The nun that normally take shawls to the homebound, they all have shawls. She also has gone back to her sisters a couple of times and they've wanted shawls, but they all have shawls right now. So I would like to have 5 new shawls I make this year ready to donate when the time comes, but not donated necessarily this year. I do have like 5 in the bin, 2 on my mannequin. So we do already have some here. So when the call goes out that, you know, they want some more shawls, I will have them available to take in, but I don't need them donated by the end of the year. Some progress each month in my own make-along. So once again, we're doing another year of the make-alongs. And it's very similar to 2025. We've added quarterly goals focusing on specific yarn weights, but I would like to fully participate this year and have progress every single month with this. My best month was February. Well, January was okay, but February was my best month in 2025, and that was WIPs and UFOs. So it's like we're doing that in January. That is my focus. Once I'm done with this last Christmas blanket, everybody's blocked, ribbon tied up and ready to go. My focus is UFOs or languishing WIPs and UFOs. I don't want to take too much into the new year that I have started, but I do also still have like 12 projects that are UFOs coming into 2025. So progress. I would really like to focus on the MAL this year and playing along with my own make along. Another low buy year. So I did actually, other than Project Christmas Blanket and making sure that I had enough yarn to join what I have plus what I have on deck, I did really good with my low buy this year. I don't have the final tally because I'm not doing my end of the year goals, but I purchased a ton of yarn this year and ended up over purchasing for Project Christmas Blanket. So I have to go through all of the piles in my floor here. Like, I might pop in a picture. I'm pretty embarrassed about how bad this looks, but my floor is covered in bins. Like, nothing, well, I say that and there's a ball of black yarn that I need to take downstairs hanging out in the middle of the floor, but there's a path to the door, but we're 2 feet up. Stacks of leftovers coming down the wall here. So if you remember what it looked like when I popped over here in the unboxing for the knitting machine, it's gotten worse. But I did good this year other than Project Christmas Blanket and its leftovers. So I'm going to give myself even less of a budget for next year to start. My seed budget will be $150. If you're not familiar with my low buys, for every 100 grams of finished objects I have, I can put $1 into my budget. That means I can purchase yarn at will. This does not include the Southern Comfort Fiber Market, which is like Troy's birthday gift to me. Every year, he basically sends me to Charlotte for a weekend. I get to buy a whole bunch of yarn and film it and talk about it and talk to dyers and designers. And it's a wonderful weekend. I get to see my friends. It's an all yarn weekend just for me. Which, by the way, it's the 6th and 7th of August this year, I believe. So if you're wondering about, fiber festivals in the greater Charlotte area, come check it out. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so it doesn't include that, and it doesn't include anything I purchased to review for the channel. So those are the two exceptions. So this is stashable yarn. I do allow myself, depending on the project, if I need it to complete a project. So there are certain things like when I started the Halloween Mal, I needed, one color, but everything else came from my stash. That's justifiable purchasing. I'm not stashing yarn, but the extra gray yarn, my preferred light gray yarn that I purchased, technically that's stash yarn. Even though it's something I'm going to use constantly, technically that's stash yarn. The extra 4 balls of the Carrie cakes that I purchased above what I thought I was going to need for one of the blankets for Project Christmas Blanket, that is stashable yarn. The stuff I have left over, I've got to figure out how I'm going to calculate, but there are allowances in there for other things. This is greed purchasing. This is consumerism purchasing. This is I must have because it is pretty purchasing, or it's on a really good sale purchasing. So $150 low by year. I need to be super mega ultra strict with myself for this one. I want to make 12 pairs of socks. We're already to number 10. A lot of these are going to go really quickly. So 5 sweaters. That includes finishing my Kisa tee, my multi-directional sweater, and there was another one I thought I had started already, but I think I frogged it. I also want to make Troy a sweater, hopefully on the knitting machine. I want to do 2 squares every week-ish using the Granny Square deck. So I shared with you guys that I'd gotten the Granny Square deck along with the Flower Granny Square deck. I want to focus on the Granny deck. I am giving myself some allowances that I might not like a week square. I'm just going to go through how they come out of the box. So like the first week of January, 2 Granny Squares. Second week of January, I think it's 2 solid Granny Squares. So some of these are going to be very boring months, some of the weeks, some of these are going to be, more exciting, a little bit more taxing, but I have tons of scrap. I have tons of leftovers that are worsted weight acrylic in particular. I want to work on getting donation blankets done and work through stash. I also need an ongoing project. So as I'm using stash yarn and creating leftovers, I need a place for that to go. So Project Granny Deck is going to be one thing. Every week I want to make 2 squares from the next card. There are going to be weeks I don't like. So I want to have 96 squares at the end. That's my goal. 2 a week, as long as I like the square. That should be, once again, doable. And there might be some where I really love the square and I might do some extras. So flexibility in my goals. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah, I don't have the poison Martha Stewart. I want 3, these 2 go together, 3 empty cubes in the cube wall. Or I will take 1 empty shelf and 1 empty cube. Some combination thereof. I want a 3 foot by 1 foot space of emptiness in this yarn room. On top of that, 0 yarn stored on the floor or in the carts. This is a big one because like the balls for joining, they can go up here. That's fine. I can get those technically off the carts, but I have other stuff up here that I need to use if that's going to be the case. Now, good news is my flatbed knitting machine will use the DK weight yarn, and I do need to reboost my baby blankets because I don't have any baby blankets for the next person to have a kid. I'm going to have to, well, I take it back. I have 1 pink and 1 green somewhere. They're lost to having company last year. But I want no yarn stored on the floor. What's in the closet, I will still accept because a lot of what's in the closet kind of are like project specific. They're just not in neat, tidy little bags. Nothing on my carts, nothing on the floor, nothing, just shoved random places to hide it from myself. I want nice, clean organization. I want this to continue to be pretty and organized, but I now want fresh new holes. I was able at the end of last year to put ALC up. I had a hole. I had put some books in there, but we moved ALC in there when she retired the subscription club. Maybe it would be nice to have like my yarnables right here. So as I'm making matches, I can just go poof instead of my big box down here. Next up, we've got a group of paper goals here. I want to make 200 cards ready to send, which should be easy. That's Halloween and Christmas cards. Normally, I'd set that goal to 400. I'm decreasing because I have not had much time for paper crafting because I can pick up a crochet project and work on it for 5 minutes. Paper crafting, I need an hour. 5 journals. 1 will be my 2026 journal because I guarantee you I will not have that done by the end of 2025. So I would like to complete 5 journals, recovering, adding dividers if I need to, things ready to go for me to use. And I do have some mini journals specifically I want to just cover to have like my notebook for the flatbed knitting machine classes I'm doing with Sherry Dumbrell. I've also got, I would like a place to put like all my notes because machine knitting is more schematic based. So like note taking is kind of a big thing. Sketching is a big thing as I'm trying to plan things for this. So I would like to have a notebook covered specifically for that. And these are little half composition books. It should be easy peasy lemon squeezy. Once again, this should be doable in like a week if I just sit down and do it. I want to finish using 2 whole 12 by 12 notepads or paper pads, which should be easy. Once again, that's Halloween cards and Christmas cards. I would also like to use 2 6 by 6 paper pads. I've got plenty of solids. That should make it even easier. 2 paper kits. 1 will pretty much be used up doing my journal for 2026. 10 rolls of washi. That's kind of a standard goal. I generally knock that one way out of the park. I'm not worried about it, but I would like to use 10 rolls of washi. I would like to use my liquid enamel dots. I have an entire drawer in my side storage over there under my desk that is liquid dots of some form. Stickles, Nuvo drops, the scrapbook.com enamel drops. Those are going to go bad if I don't use them. I really want to use them. And the stickles, like, because they're just basically glitter glue. Doing some like accents on some of the pieces that I do. I have some ephemera I need to make. So I'd like to at least just break those out and use them once next year. 2 specific yarns I want to use a amount of. I want to break into 20 hanks of fingering weight yarn. That's been a goal for the last couple of years. I've met it or ish met it repeatedly. And 20 yarn cakes. So once again, I have 1.5 bookcases of cake yarns. Karen cakes, Premier DK colors, Lion brand cupcakes. I've got Red Heart roll with it tweed. I've got oodles of cakes over here. I want to focus once again on using some of these. That's why I said, if I can clear off, one whole shelf and one whole cube, I will take that as part of the goal here. But 20 cakes I would like to use, and that should be easy because once again, out of the gate, I really want to make this raglan sweater on my flatbed knitting machine. I think I can do it. I know the gauge of the yarn that I have pulled out, and that alone is going to take 5 balls or 5 cakes. So once again, that should be a very easy, doable goal for me. The last 2 on here are unusual for me. I want to finish a snowman table runner that I started close to 20 years ago now. And I want to finish the printed cross stitch that I started in 2024. And actually, those kind of go together in one. AKA pull out the needlework projects I've been working on forever. And the last one is do some color work knitting, which will be easy because of a project we have on the next page. So the next page is project specific for 2026. And these will be fairly easy to run down too. So hot pads for my brother and his wife. I asked him, he said they actually use them. I'm going to send them some that aren't Christmas. Hats and scarf sets for my brother, his wife, and their daughter. She is now of the age, she will be of the age in 2026 where I am willing to do scarves for little people. So she is now old enough, she can have little people scarves. So I will make them a matching family set of hats and scarves, and then a couple extra just to have on deck because they actually have wind and cold weather and snow. I want to make a couple of hats for my dad then this next year. I want to make a sweater for Troy. The next group here are kind of for the Mal, basically. In February, I want to make the Captiva crop with the Beach Bunny yarn that I got at the Southern Comfort Fiber Market. I want to make a bulky sweater. This is Q1 Mal, March Mal, using this Peyton's Misty. Or I've got this Peyton's Shetland Chunky. I think those will make really cute, easy sweaters. I have seen a couple really cute mock mohair sweaters, and I don't know, it's not really my color, but I think it would make a cute little chunky cardi. So I was thinking, especially like I wear so much black. I don't know. The pink I'd get more wear out of, but the green, I think it'd be fun. April, the Harry Potter scrap scarf. So Slytherin Sock Syndicate. Hard to say. For Advent, they're releasing a chart every day that is the alphabet. So it started with Arthur Weasley. There's a day missing somewhere in there. Quirrell write-up went up yesterday, but there's a missing day in between Ollivander and Quirrell, and I can't quite figure out what happened, if it's me or if it's the publisher. Anyway, I want to take what she's doing for socks and make a scarf. So I'll be doubling the chart read. So it'd be 4 times around the scarf. If I don't feel like that's going to be long enough, which I don't think it will be because a sock would only give me about 1 foot to 1.5 feet, so 2 feet of scarf. She also did, I'm not entirely sure on that. They did a herbology one, and they also did a potions one in previous years. So I might take those and smush them all together and maybe like alternate 2023, 2024, 2025, day 1, day 2, day 3. Yeah, I'll play with it. But I found that when I was looking at Ravelry free pattern group, and they had free mouths, and that one popped up, and I was like, oh, that could be a lot of fun. And then I was like, I have a ton of scrap sock yarn all over the house in different projects, in different to be determined projects. And I've got so many mini skeins right now. So I thought that would be a perfect option. Then I want to make Halloween socks for May, which I don't think that should just be like understood, but I would like to do another heel tab sock like I did with the yarn that Lauren sent me. And I have some really cute yarn that I want to play with too. Knit at least one kit from my closet. I have so many kits still hiding in there. June is a big project month, and I have like 2 blanket projects in there. I have some, more fancy sweaters in there, crochet and knit. So one big project from the closet in June. And then in July, I would like to finish making my Christmas socks that I'm not going to get done before Christmas this year, and start and make Troy's Christmas socks. So maybe next year we can have matching Christmas socks. And then notice I already remembered there was something else I wanted to make, and that is making the raven cowl to match my Musselburgh hat that I finished at the beginning of the year. So there we go. Those are the goals. I do have a finished tallies thing, the things I'm going to be tallying this year in FOs: shawls, hat and scarf sets, hats, scarves, baby hats, blankets, sweaters, socks, hot pads, cards, journals, and folios. Then supplies that I want to do a separate tally for: fingering, bulky, cake, cotton. Then in paper crafting, 12x12 pads, 6x6 pads, sticker sheets, washi, and ATG/foam tape. And then the items I want to count as I'm donating them: hats and scarf sets, blankets, baby hats, and shawls. So lofty goals once again, but we aim high, knowing we're probably not going to hit that. But if we can at least hit 50% of that, I'm generally happy. So anyway, it was a lot. What are your goals this year? What are you planning on doing? Do you have a project you were just super excited to get started on, and this is the year you're going to do it? Or have you already seen oh, once I'm done with what I'm working on now, I'm going to start this in the new year. This is going to be my new year cast on. This is my goal for this year. Oh, I would love to make my first pair of socks, my first sweater. I would like to design something. I've got a design in my mind. I want to actually make it. Where's your brain for 2026? What has you getting up and wanting to pick up that hook and needle this year? And even if it's not a yarny thing, what are you wanting to quilt this year? Have you seen a new pattern of a dress you want to sew? Let me know. I know we don't all knit and crochet. We all do all sorts of things. What do you want to do this year? Because I love seeing what your guys are doing, and you never know, what you might say that might trigger me writing in something extra. So anyway, I love you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful, fantastic day. As always, I look forward to seeing you guys real soon. Bye, guys.